So we just completed our 3-minute warm-up at 25 watts for Carrie's submaximal exercise test. I'm gonna have her go because she's gonna do 1 more minute of warm-up. I will also be taking a blood pressure and her heart rate at this warm-up speed. We are starting the submax exercise because we know that there's no signs or symptoms that would keep her from, there's no signs or symptoms of cardiovascular disease. We also evaluated her risk factors, which are minimal, which means that we don't need a doctor here while we do a submax test. We also did her resting measurements of her heart rate and her blood pressure, which, if I recall, was, I think, 66 beats per minute, and her blood pressure was 106/58. So we know that she's in normal limits, so we are okay to go ahead and start her submaximal exercise. So I'm going to give her about 20 more seconds on the warm-up, and then we'll begin her exercise at 150 watts. ACSM is 100 watts is a good pace for a submax exercise for a trained individual, but we know that she, in her previous tests, needs a little bit of a higher output to get her into her submax range. So I'm going to go ahead and take her submax heart rate and blood pressure. I got 90 beats per minute for her submax, and then we're going to take her blood pressure. A 108/72, that's your submax blood pressure. So go ahead and hold this for me. We're going to go ahead and go up to your submax exercising watt range, which is going to be 150. If you could just keep your RPMs between 50 and 60, that would be wonderful. Perfect, there we go. And we are going to go ahead and wait for 3 minutes, and we're going to take a heart rate, blood pressure, and heart rate after 3 minutes. So I'm watching the clock now. At any point in time, you tell me how you feel, okay?
That's good. Squeaky bite.
Is it really squeaky bite? 15 minutes in the sense. I'm going to go ahead and record her submax. Oh, how are you feeling on your perceived exertion before we enter into the stage?
Say 9.
9. Perfect. So I'm going to record that. RPE was 9. Blood pressure was 108/72. Your heart rate was great. So in 3 minutes, we'll take another set of measures.
Sounds good.
How are you feeling?
This cold is getting me.
If at any point in time you need to stop, definitely let me know.
Sounds good. Doing okay for now.
Okay, great. While we're waiting, another note I will make for our video is that before we got her on the bike, we wanted to make sure that her seat height was right at her greater trochanter, and we also wanted to make sure that her knee was bent at about a 20-degree angle. So So I checked that before we got her on the bike, just as a precaution to make sure it was correctly set. All right, about another minute. All right, we're going to do your heart rate while we. Perfect. So this is in her first stage. Being very clear. All right, so our heart rate was 128, which is good. We know that's in her submaximal range. I'm going to take a blood pressure and then another heart rate to make sure we're in steady state. Thank you. All right, we got 138 over 82, 72, I'm sorry. Yeah. 138 over 72, and then tell me how hard you feel like you're working.
13.
So our first heart rate was at 128. My iPad's not unlocking. It was 128. Her blood pressure was 138 over 72, and we're going to take another heart rate to make sure we've reached steady state before we do a second stage. Feel good?
Yeah.
Perfect. We got 128 again, which means we know she's in steady state. And we're going to go for another 3 minutes for her second stage, and then we will be complete. You doing all right?
Yeah.
Okay, doing great. So we'll start that measurement in another 2 minutes.
Perfect.
And we're monitoring blood pressure to make sure that she's physiologically responding well and not having a major drop, which means you probably want to terminate the test. Too early. Come forward. All right, we're gonna go ahead and start taking that second set of measurements. I'm gonna just see your heart rate. So got a heart rate of 130. I'm gonna see your blood pressure in just a second, but go ahead and tell me how hard you feel like you're working.
13.
13 still.
Yeah.
Great. So an RPE of 13. We're gonna see her blood pressure one more time. Thank you. Such a helpful patient. put 140 over 70. Which is good, that's normal, 140 over 70. And now we're going to take our heart rate one more time, and then if that is within a steady state, which means that it's within 5 beats per minute, we will go ahead and terminate this test. So let me just take your heart rate. Got 128 once again. Alright, so we're going to have you cool down now because we know you're in a steady state. I'm going to go ahead and decrease your wattage back down to that 25 that we started out for the warm-up, and we're going to make sure you cool down for at least 3 to 5 minutes, just to make sure that your heart rate comes back down. But I will monitor your blood pressure one more time and your heart rate once you stop to make sure that you are responding well physiologically.
Sounds good.
But for the purpose of the video, I'm going to go ahead and stop because we reached steady state, which means we're between 5 beats per minute for every heart rate that we took. So you maintained that steady state well and responded well. So we're going to stop the video. Perfect. Thanks, Carrie.